Hey, what is up, people? This is Johnny and welcome to Pokemon Theory, and today we're going to discuss Project Azoth. So many people may be wondering, what is Project Azoth in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire? Well, Project Azoth was a project to return life to its beginning. This is stated by Archie or Maxie at some point in the game. So in the Pokemon Omega Ruby Magma Hideout or Aqua's Hideout, there are bookshelves that have information on the project to reawaken Primal Groudon or Primal Kyogre named Project Azoth. Nearby the first article, there is a Magma or Aqua Grunt mumbling that A and Z obviously represent the beginning and the end, but he is clueless on what the O and T and the H stand for. So Azoth stands for A, Alpha, beginning, Z, Omega, N, O for Omnicron, T for Theta, H for Eta or Eta. Also, an Azoth is a chemical equivalent to mercury and is one of the essential concepts of alchemy alongside alkahas. Azoth is a universal medicine while alkahas is a universal dissolvent. The second article on Project Azoth speaks about the difference between primal reversion and mega evolution. Primal reversion deals solely with the changes in nature, while mega evolutions deal with the relationship between people and Pokemon. It also states that the power of the reversion stems from conflict 3,000 years prior, the Great Kalocenian War. Devon Corporation funneled money into the research of the material from the ultimate weapon to create a infinity energy, which is how the teleport pads in Hoenn, as the multiverse theory confirms in the Delta episode dialogue, were created. Papers from the inside of the Magma Hideout say that Tabitha was an ex-Devon worker who was able to steal infinity energy parts for Team Magma or Team Aqua. So now we're going to talk about the multiverse theory that connects to Project Azoth. Delta episode confirms that the Pokemon multiverse, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald all take place in their own separate universe from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. The Pokemon timeline could actually be way different than we imagine. It could end up looking something like this. Each version is canon supported by the multiverse. Omega Ruby happens in one dimension while Alpha Sapphire happens in another. Thus, this is the Hoenn that is after the Hoenn of Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. This is obvious since this is the Hoenn that shares dimensions with Kalos and thus is affected by the Mega Evolution and the Great Kalocenian War. Now we're going to talk about the space Pokemon theory, which is Deoxys. Deoxys was a virus that was given a physical form when it was hit by a giant laser. And this is talking about the infinity energy that actually hit Deoxys. The virus has a highly mutable DNA, thus whenever it's given proper conduit, it can alter its DNA. It also has regenerative properties. Some Deoxys may have some or all of these qualities. Other strands of Deoxys may mutate or lose and gain new properties. Starmie is a Deoxys virus. Jirachi has huge ties to Team Aqua. Archie and Shelly have documents mentioning a meeting with Jirachi. This is in accordance of their research to Project Azoth. It can also be theorized that Kalos is very similar to a post-war War II in Germany, and that Great Kalos War was like the World War II itself, which had been catastrophic to Kalos. It can be theorized that the old Unova in one dimension was not destroyed by Reshiram Zekrom, but instead by the ultimate weapon, as the Parfum Fallen makes a mention of a more recent war, 300 years instead of 3,000 with neighboring regions. Inside the garden status of Reshiram and Zekrom rest, you could say they were gifts from Unova, but you could also say they were taken as spoils. Kalos is the only region with a public gravesite, although the regions contain more private towers for the deceased, but Kalos has a mass grave for all of the lives lost as a result of the Kalos War, almost as if it were an everyday reminder of the Kalocenians about the war. So Lysander, Maxie, and Archie all dealt with alchemy, but back to what we know about the Azoth as a concept of alchemy is known as a universal medicine, something to restore something else or someone to its prior state. Alkahas to the opposite concept, the universal dissolvent to rip away something to bring it to its prior state. Lysander wanted to rip apart the world and the ultimate weapon to return it to its most beautiful state. Maxie and Archie used to help to steal the infinity energy, the same energy on the ultimate weapon, to revive Groudon, Kyogre, and restore them to their prior state, Azoth. Lysander's psychosis. It is possible that Lysander took the humans evolved from Pokemon theories to heart. His final encounter with you is a simulated mega evolution of himself as much as his Pokemon. Lysander believes in his connection to the natural world and its beauty could drive him to strive the world's perfect beauty, one unlike the ones caused by his great granduncle Az. Lysander is a descendant of Az's brother. The theory about that humans evolved from Pokemon. There are a few references in the Sinnoh myth mentioning that humans and Pokemons once coexisted as a single species. A few individuals appear to possess the abilities well beyond those real-world humans are capable of attaining, such as psychic and aurora powers. The final thing I'm going to talk about is Azoth, Alcahas, and the Titans. Everything with Team Magma and Aqua's goals mentions Project Azoff. Az as the king who started the ultimate weapon, Catastrophe, but also Omega. Next comes Omicron, Theta, and Hetra. These last three are found in the glyphs of the three Titans in Hoenn: Reggie Rock, Reggie Ice, and Reggie Steel. These three were constructed by humans during the Stone, Ice, Steel ages and were given sentences by Reggie Gigas. Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre abilities are the key point as they represent a primal earth, desolate lands, and primordial sea, no life. The Titans symbolize the first essence of life, as referenced in the Greek myth, where golems-like monsters were constructed before they eventually became humanity. Team Magma, Aqua, and some sort of interest with the Titans. So I'm going to talk about Az a bit more. Az is also the name of the ancient Kalos king who appears at the end of X and Y. He is the one that 3,000 years ago mass sacrificed bunch of Pokemon people and built a gigantic crystal laser weapon from their souls and fired it at his own region to the end of the war. His own Pokemon Floretta died in the process, so he used the souls that were killed by his first laser and to resurrect it. This had something to go wary. It gave both Az and his Floretta eternal life. Something about Az super laser energy release caused mega stones to be created. We don't know how the connection is, but this means that Azoth is semi-related to Mega Pokemon, as it knows that primal versions causes a similar power to release Mega Pokemon, but that the process is different. From information gathered from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire and X and Y, Mega Evolution temporarily gives a boost to a Pokemon from the infinite energy that Az created. With what Maxie and Archie discover is that the primal reversions is more powerful than that. Now there's a few things unaccounted for in regards to Maxie and Archie, and that both of their involvements with Jirachi and with each other revealed that Maxie and Archie and an atom from each all met Jirachi before. And also that Maxie and Archie used to be on the same team before. Their ideals were different and they split up to form their own teams. Unlike the original games, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire seems to continue X and Y's theme of life and death. Instead of two grown men not understanding the water cycle, Project Azoff is thus just both teams trying to reach a level of power above that of a Mega Evolution, which makes sense as both leaders have Mega Evolutions of their own. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't checked out some of my other videos, make sure to click on those two boxes in the middle, and also leave a comment in the comment section suggesting what next theory I should do.